My brother, my sister, come closer. Let me speak to you the way an elder speaks when the night is quiet, when the fire is low, when truth can sit between us without fear. Welcome to Tales by Ese, Old Stories, New Voices. Today, we are not just telling a story. No. We are beginning a journey inside your own mind, your own spirit, your own destiny. You see, life has a strange way of shaping us. Sometimes it lifts us. Sometimes it breaks us. But no matter who you are, no matter where you stand today, there is a story inside you that is still unfolding. A story that wants to rise. A story that wants to breathe. And that is why you are here. What you are about to listen to is not some dry lesson, not some boring lecture meant to pass the time. This right here is a path. A path to understanding yourself, mastering your mind, and awakening the power that has been sleeping inside you for years. I will walk with you through 7 great lessons. Lessons carved from pain, shaped by wisdom, sharpened by the trials of our people. Lessons that have made kings out of the ordinary, warriors out of the scared, legends out of those who once doubted themselves. So before we begin, breathe. Let the world outside you fall silent. Let your thoughts rest like dust settling on a quiet road. Because from here on, every word you hear will challenge you. Every truth will test you. Every story will hold a mirror up to your heart. And if you stay with me till the end, if you let these words sink deep into your bones, you will not be the same person you were when you press play. My friend, this is the moment your new life begins. And if you haven't already, join our family by subscribing to Tales by Ese, Old Stories, New Voices. Here, we grow together. Here, we rise together. Here, your story finds its voice. Now, let us begin with Lesson 1. Let us begin with the truth that changes everything. The power of belief. My brother, my sister, listen closely now. Because this lesson, this very first lesson, is the foundation of every victory you will ever taste in your life. Belief. That small word that carries the weight of mountains. You see, many of us grew up in environments where doubt was louder than encouragement. Where people spoke to us as if our dreams were too big for our small beginnings. Where even the ones who loved us sometimes told us to be realistic. As if greatness was a luxury reserved only for others. And over time, those words, those looks, those disappointments, they gather in your heart like stones in a river. They slow your flow. They dim your light. They make you forget who you truly are. But hear me now, with all the strength in my chest. There is no force more powerful than a human being who truly believes in themselves. Not money. Not talent. Not education. Not luck. Belief is what turns a nobody into a leader. Belief is what makes a weak man stand tall. Belief is what gives a shy woman the courage to speak her truth. Belief is the soil where every miracle grows. Let me tell you something our ancestors taught us. A seed knows it will become a tree even when it is buried in darkness. My friend, you are that seed. Life has buried you under fear, under failure, under betrayal, under poverty maybe. But inside you, there is still a tree waiting to rise. A destiny waiting to unfold. You might not see your greatness yet, and that is okay. You might still feel small, and that is okay. Because every giant was once small. Every champion was once unknown. Every legend was once unsure. The difference, the only difference, is that they believed. Belief is not loud. It doesn't shout. It doesn't boast. It whispers. It whispers quietly in your mind. You can. You will. You must. And when you listen to that whisper, when you trust it even a little, your world begins to change. Your energy shifts. Your choices shift. Your courage rises. You start taking steps you once feared. You start trying things you once thought were impossible. You start becoming someone you never imagined you could be. And listen. Believing in yourself is not arrogance. It is not pride. It is honoring the gift God placed inside you. It is trusting the purpose that was written for your life long before you were born. So today, I want you to make a promise to yourself. A quiet promise. Whisper it under your breath if you must. I will believe in myself even when no one else does. Say it again. And again. Until your heart knows it is true. Because the journey we are about to walk together, the battles we will face, the truth we will uncover, all of it begins here. With belief. Belief in your strength. Belief in your purpose. Belief in your destiny. Believe that you were created for more. This is lesson 1. And without it, nothing else can stand. When you are ready, my friend, we move to lesson 2. My brother, my sister, before we walk further on this path, I want you to understand something many people never realize in their entire lifetime. You are only as rich as your mindset. Not your bank account. Not your education. Not your family background. Not the country you were born in. Your true wealth, the one thing that decides how far you rise, is your mindset. Let me speak plainly. In this world, 2 people can start from the same village, the same school, the same family, the same hunger. But one will rise beyond the clouds, and the other will remain on the ground. Why? Because one built a powerful mindset, and the other surrendered to a weak one. A weak mindset whispers, "It's too late. I don't have enough. I'm not smart enough. People like me never succeed. This is just my life." A powerful mindset answers back, "Who said it's too late? So what if I start small? I can learn. I can grow. My past is not my prison. My story is still being written." My friend, life does not respond to your complaints. Life responds to your mindset. You can give a weak-minded person $1 million, they will lose it. You can give a strong-minded person nothing, they will build an empire. Because mindset shapes effort. Mindset shapes consistency. Mindset shapes resilience. Mindset shapes destiny. Let me tell you a truth that many fear to admit. Most people are not suffering because of their situation. They are suffering because of their thinking. Your mind can turn a challenge into an opportunity. Or it can turn an opportunity into a burden. The difference is never the word, it is always the mind. Think of a lion and a gazelle. Both wake up in the same savanna, the same heat, the same dangers. But the lion believes he is the hunter. The gazelle believes he is the hunted. And that belief shapes their entire lives. My brother, my sister, what are you? A hunter? Or the hunted? Listen to me carefully now. Your mindset is the steering wheel of your life. If it is controlled by fear, you will drive in circles. If it is controlled by doubt, you will crash into the same failures again and again. If it is controlled by excuses, you will park your dreams by the roadside and watch others pass you. But if your mindset becomes strong, if you decide to take control of your inner world, then no matter where you start, you can rise. No matter how slow your progress, you can advance. No matter who doubts you, you can overcome. A powerful mindset does not guarantee an easy life, no. But it guarantees that you will keep moving even when the road is hard. It guarantees that you will fight even when the world says sit down. It guarantees that you will become the version of yourself you were always meant to be. So today, strengthen your mind. Feed it with courage. Feed it with discipline. Feed it with hope. Feed it with the belief that your life still has more to offer. This is your true wealth. And before we step into the next lesson, remember, if these words are speaking to your spirit, join our family by subscribing to Tales by Ese, Old Stories, New Voices. Here, we rise together. My brother, my sister, this next lesson is one we all learn, whether we want to or not. It is a truth carved into every human life, rich or poor, young or old, strong or weak. Pain. A word that can silence a room. A force that can break the proudest heart. A flame that can burn away your joy, your strength, your trust. But hear me well. Pain is not a punishment. Pain is a teacher. I know, maybe nobody ever told you this. Maybe you grew up believing that when life hurts you, it is because you have failed, or because you are not good enough, or because others are better than you. But that is not true. Not even a little. Pain comes to refine you, not to destroy you. Look back at your life. Think of the moments that shaped you the most. The moments that changed you, matured you, opened your eyes. Were they moments of comfort? Or moments of hardship? Growth does not come from comfort. Comfort makes us soft. Comfort makes us careless. Comfort makes us slow to rise. But pain wakes us up. Pain exposes what is weak inside us so we can strengthen it. Pain removes people who were only pretending to love us. Pain forces us to confront our fears, our habits, our limits. Pain turns ordinary people into wise ones. Do you know how gold becomes pure? By fire. Not warm water, not gentle wind. Fire. And just like gold, your life has passed through fires you did not ask for: heartbreak, betrayal, poverty, rejection, disappointment, loneliness. But instead of destroying you, every flame shaped you. Every flame took something from you but also left something inside you. Resilience. Understanding. Compassion. Strength. My friend, the scars you carry are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you survived what was meant to break you. And listen carefully. There is a special kind of power that only comes from those who have suffered. A person who has never fallen cannot teach you how to rise. A person who has never been hungry cannot teach you the value of food. A person who has never cried cannot teach you the meaning of joy. Pain is the universe's way of transforming you into someone capable of receiving the blessings ahead. Because sometimes, the version of you before the pain was too small for the future waiting for you. So life had to stretch you, bend you, break you, and rebuild you. And if you are still in pain right now, if your heart is heavy, if your spirit is tired, let me tell you this. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Prepared for better friendships. Prepared for stronger opportunities. Prepared for deeper love. Prepared for a life you thought was out of reach. Pain is not the end of your story. It is the chapter that shapes your character before the victory arrives. So breathe, my friend. You will survive this season too. And when you look back, you will understand why it had to happen. If this message speaks to your heart, remember to join the family by subscribing to Tales by Ese, Old Stories, New Voices. Here, your pain finds meaning. Here, your story finds strength. Now, something powerful happens right here. Once you understand how to build authority intentionally, every single platform works in your favor. TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, they all give priority to creators who make viewers stop, watch, and trust. And trust is exactly what turns a silent viewer into a loyal follower. A loyal follower into a warm lead. And a warm lead into a paying customer. Let's go deeper. Authority online is built on 4 pillars. 1. Clarity. People must know exactly what you teach. Not 10 topics. Not mixed signals. 1 clear identity. 2. Proof. Show results, transformations, case studies, even your own journey. Proof speaks louder than editing. 3. Consistency. The more you show up, the more the algorithm pushes you. It rewards creators who refuse to disappear. 4. Character. Your tone, your face, your energy, your presence. People buy the teacher before they buy the teaching. And once these 4 align, your content becomes magnetic. Students start reaching out. Brands start knocking. Your DMs become your funnel. But here is the deeper truth, and it is the part most creators ignore. People don't buy information. They buy transformation. They buy a better version of themselves. You are not selling content. You are selling hope. That's why your teaching style matters more than the topic you pick. A powerful teacher can take the simplest idea and turn it into a breakthrough. And that is the shift that separates struggling creators from the ones who build real income and real impact. Because the gospel must be seen before it is heard. And your message must be felt before it is understood. This is where the next phase begins. When you start creating not just content, but identity-shifting experiences. And that is where the money begins to multiply. Now we enter the stage that most creators never reach. Because this path requires courage, discipline, and a shift in how you see yourself. This is the phase where you stop being a creator who posts, and you become a creator who teaches with intention. There is a difference, a big one. A creator posts to stay alive on the algorithm. A teacher posts to change someone's life. And when your content carries purpose, it becomes unforgettable. This is where your framework is born. Your signature way of teaching, explaining, breaking things down. Every great teacher online has one. It is the reason you remember their lessons. It is the reason people take out their cards. It is the reason they turn their content into full-time income. Your framework is your identity in the marketplace. But here is the truth most people overlook. Your framework does not come from books. It comes from battles. Every mistake you made. Every failure you survived. Every lesson you learned the painful way. Those become the foundation of the system you will teach. People don't want perfection. They want a guide who understands the path. And that is why your story matters, not the fancy version, not the polished version, but the raw, honest, human version. Because honesty builds connection. Connection builds trust. And trust builds a student base that never leaves. Once your framework is shaped, something powerful happens. You stop competing. Other creators fight for views. Other creators chase trends. Other creators copy each other. But you become the source. The reference. The voice people return to. Your presence becomes a classroom. Your content becomes a curriculum. And your audience becomes a learning community. This is how a creator becomes a leader. And once you reach this level, the income becomes consistent. Because people don't pay leaders for what they know. They pay leaders for who they become under their teaching. This is the phase where everything changes. Not just in how you create content, but in how you operate as a person. Because when you're building a long-form course, you're not just teaching people. You're guiding them through a transformation. And a transformation requires structure. In this phase, you learn to take everything you know, your knowledge, your failures, your experience, and arrange it in a way that leads your audience step by step. From where they are to where they want to be. Most creators stop here because they think teaching is posting information. But real teaching, real transformation, requires a journey. A journey with 1. A starting point. 2. A clear path. 3. A final result. Your audience is not looking for random lessons. They want a path, a progression, a reason to trust you for the long run. This is where you craft the emotional backbone of your course. Because education without emotion does not stick. People forget information. But they never forget feelings. So in this part of your script, you inject your humanity. The struggles you faced when you started. The mistakes that broke you but taught you. The successes you once thought were impossible. When people see your journey, they believe in their own. This connection transforms them. And transforms your brand. Because you are no longer just a creator or educator. You become a companion on their path. An African voice that feels like home. A storyteller who leads them with wisdom. A teacher who speaks with truth. And as your course unfolds, your students begin to change. Their thinking sharpens. Their confidence grows. Their actions become intentional. Their results become visible. This is the power of structure transformation. This is where your long-form course stops being content and becomes an experience. Now we reach the phase every creator dreams of. But only a few truly master. This is the stage where your knowledge becomes income. Your presence becomes influence. And your teaching becomes an asset that pays you over and over again. But monetization is not magic. It is a system, a deliberate, structured way of turning value into revenue. And this system has 3 pillars. Pillar 1, authority that sells itself. When you teach with clarity, purpose, and a strong narrative voice, people begin to trust you effortlessly. And in the digital world, trust is currency. When your audience sees you as a guide, a teacher, a storyteller with lived wisdom, they buy not because you push, but because they believe. This is why we built your framework earlier. This is why your voice carries emotional weight. This is why your lessons feel human and honest. Authority is not loud. Authority is consistent. And consistency is what converts. Pillar 2, products built from your value. Most creators try to sell random things. A PDF today. A mini course tomorrow. A coaching call next month. But that is not how true educators make money. Your course must feel like a journey, not a collection of pieces. Your audience should feel like, this is the path, and he is the one who will take me to the finish line. A well-built course becomes a school, a community, a movement. It is not just a product. It is a transformation package with purpose. And when transformation is clear, payment becomes easy. Pillar 3, your story as a bridge to sales. People don't buy secrets. People buy stories. The moments where you failed. The nights where you almost quit. The times you felt hopeless but kept going. These are the stories that make your teaching human. And when your story meets their struggle, the connection becomes unbreakable. Sales happen naturally, quietly, powerfully. Not through pressure, but through shared humanity. This is the African way of teaching. Art before instruction. Connection before transaction. Your audience must feel your presence. Your voice must guide them with warmth and truth. And as they walk this journey with you, they do not just pay for the course. They invest in you, your wisdom, your experience, your voice. This is how monetization becomes sustainable. Now that your transformation system and revenue foundation are set, we move to the next stage. The stage where your course becomes a legacy. This is the moment when your work rises beyond content, beyond lessons, beyond monetization, and steps into something far deeper. Legacy. Because a true teacher is not remembered for what he said, but for what he changed inside the people who listened. And when you build a long-form course with intention, your voice does not end when the video ends. It stays in the hearts of the people who heard you, guiding them long after they close the screen. Legacy is built through 3 forces. 1. The voice that lives beyond the moment. A creator speaks for today. A teacher speaks for tomorrow. But a legacy voice speaks for generations. Your words should feel like they come from an elder sitting by the fire, sharing wisdom that shaped his own journey. When people hear you, they should feel something shift inside them. A spark. A clarity. A strength they didn't know was there. This is how a narrator becomes unforgettable. 2. The thought that continues without you. Legacy is not about being present. It is about planting ideas that grow even when you're gone. When your audience begins to think differently, act differently, believe differently, that is when your course becomes more than content. It becomes a foundation. Your students start teaching others what you taught them. Your lessons travel from voice to voice, from home to home, from one generation to the next. That is legacy. 3. The community that carries your fire. A legacy grows when your audience becomes a family. A circle of people who share understanding, share progress, share transformation. When someone says, he is the one who opened my eyes, He is the reason I changed my path. He is the teacher I trusted when no one believed in me. That is legacy speaking. Your course becomes a village of learning, where your presence is felt like a wise elder guiding each person through their own battles. This phase is powerful because it is no longer about you. It is about what your voice unlocks in others. It is about becoming the reason someone stands taller, thinks clearer, and walks with courage in a world full of noise. When your course reaches this level, people don't just appreciate you. They honor you. They carry your words. They share your lessons. They protect your teachings. They spread your impact. And it all began with your voice. Spoken with truth. Spoken with heart. Spoken with purpose. Now, we arrive at the final chapter of this journey. The chapter where every lesson you've shared, every story you've told, every truth you've carried, comes together as one powerful message. Because a course is not just information. It is a bridge. From uncertainty to clarity. From confusion to direction. From fear to purpose. And you? You are the guide walking beside them on that bridge. In this closing phase, your voice softens. But its weight grows heavier. You speak not as a teacher anymore, but as someone who has traveled the road and knows its storms. So let the audience feel this truth. Transformation is not a moment. It is a decision, made again and again. Success is not a secret. It is a practice, lived every single day. And purpose is not found. It is built with patience, with humility, and with courage. Remind them that the journey they began with you does not end here. They have learned how to think with clarity, how to build with intention, how to rise with confidence, how to create with purpose, and how to carry their voice with dignity. Let them know that their next step is not about perfection, but about consistency. They do not have to race. They only have to move. One step. One decision. One act of courage at a time. And now, as the fire of this long story begins to settle, your voice shifts into its final purpose. Your presence as the storyteller of Tales by Eva. If this journey touched your heart, if these words opened your mind, if this story awakened something inside you, remember this. There are many stories in this world, but not all of them are told with truth. Here at Tales by Eva, we bring you old stories, new voices. Tales of wisdom, struggle, courage, and the spirit that lives in every African heart. So if you want more stories that teach, more lessons that guide, more journeys that stay with you, then return to this circle. Subscribe. Stay close. And let us walk together again. Because this is not the end,